My dad actually said about 2 months ago, because we were talking about how, what a disgrace the sort of monarchy's fallen into, 'cause King Charles and shit like that. Like Queen Lizzie, what an angel she was, and these lads have come in and absolutely fucked it. And he said, just watch, Andrew he'll get arrested. They'll have to throw a bone to the public, because it's just with the Epstein files coming out, it's going to have to happen. And I think a lot of people sort of clocked the same thing. And so he was. So it seems like the family have now, after decades of suppressing it and hiding it, have gone, no, 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 we'll be open and honest about it. Here he is. Obviously their PR crisis in the royal family. So Andrew Mountbatten, Windsor, released under investigation after arrest for misconduct in public office. So supposedly he leaked documents to Epstein, sensitive documents to Epstein. I'm not sure entirely what about, by the way. I don't know if it's about market stuff or if it's about security stuff or whatever it is. And then obviously, yeah, the nonce side. There's a funny meme that went around saying like the Loch Ness noncer has been found, and I thought it was quite funny. And yeah, it's. I don't think this is news to anyone really. It's just kind of surprising that that this government has actually gone out of their way to arrest him.
First arrest in 300 years, I think, since Charles I, I heard yesterday. And yeah, no, it's pretty bad. And to think about it, it's been going on for like 30 years or something, 25 years. So the fact that no one in the royal family knew this was going on with all their security and stuff.
What's the opinions here on the monarchy and the royal family? Like, what do you think, Stu? What do you think about monarchy and the royal family?
I'm a royalist. I think my family and my family's family are all royalist. I mean, I love the fact we've got some sort of head of state and someone that we can look back on, and it just marks moments in time. I think it's great to have someone who can call upon public service, and it would be a real shame if this fell apart all because of some paedophile ring that is just way out there, which I think is very political. It's probably religious. It's probably from a very small country or very small state that's running the money, running the laws. It's all mixed into one big untwine. I think this is part of the fourth turning. It's just what happens every 80 years. I think it's hopefully it's going to deravel. Hopefully it doesn't cause too much civil unrest. We've been saying since we started this podcast that that it's all leading to some very uncertain, volatile times, and I think this could be just another straw on the camel's back that breaks society. I just hope the royal family come out the back of it.
Okay, Jack, what do you think? You're from Henley.
Your neighbours.
Not quite. When it comes to the monarchy, obviously it's an extremely, I think it's an extremely cool ailment to have to any country, have a royal family or as such. I think that if the UK didn't have a royal family, it would be extremely different. I think there's an element of grounding there that's obviously being founded when we were founded and so many moons ago. It kind of gives us that memory of past, which I think is very important, even more prevalent at the moment when we've got problems with borders and where the country's going. But when you have a monarchy, it's almost like you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. And there's almost an element of key person of influence. Like Liz was an absolute dreamboat, sturdy as a rock, composed, professional, probably never did anything that would breach the monarchy or the royalty. But you do get the odd ugly duckling in a family that's probably a little naughty boy and wants a bit of fame or wants a bit of value or wants to feel appreciated. And with power comes responsibility, and he's obviously overstepped the mark there. So I think he needs to be eradicated. If this was a family situation, you'd be like, you f***ed up, big boy. Get out. You're on your own now. And that's what's basically happening. So, yeah, what do I quite like the monarchy. I think it's very, obviously being wedded to an American, it's quite a focal point of their perspective on the Brits. They know we have a royal family. They're very aware. I kind of feel the royal family's taken a bit of a back seat in everything, if I'm honest, since blessed little Liz passed away, because there isn't really anyone that's like a character, if that makes sense. But yeah, put the fucker away, I say.
What about you, D?
I think anyone in those files that's been a naughty boy should be put away.
Amen.
This is just the thing of today's world, isn't it? And since the last few decades is whatever you do in the world, it could come back to haunt you. So, people 50 years ago, whatever they did, it was very rare that it would ever come back to surface, wasn't it? But today, there's digital footprints everywhere. And I was reading something the other day where somebody got arrested like 25 years after they did the crime. And so everyone's always got to think twice. But to answer your question, Ryan, what do I think about when you said what do I think about what the royal family or the monarchy or like what as in?
The monarchy, yeah, yeah.
Well, I think it's I typically like anything that makes us a bit like unusual. I like the blast from the past, the great powerhouse that was the UK, where at one point in history the sun didn't set on the British Empire. Wherever across the world, it was the dominating force. So I like the thought of that. There's also not just the UK. The monarchy for the UK isn't just for the UK. There's also the Commonwealth, isn't it? There's all these countries that recognise the UK as the head state. Our king as the head state, which just means that's one of the biggest reasons why the UK will always have this like global, regardless of our politics, it will always have this global respect because of the Commonwealth that it sits on top of effectively, even though they are independent countries. It's just and the nobility that the lords, the sirs, is. I think Britain is awesome. I really do, and I think we're all very lucky to be here. It's just unfortunately we just don't have the right people in power. Is a different
Yeah.
thing, but
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with all of you. When I was younger, I didn't know. When I was younger, I was like, "What is this monarchy nonsense?" Like, blah blah blah. I took a much more, I think, reductive view of the monarchy.
Rebellious stage in your teenage years,
In my
probably.
youth, well, it was more to do with just like the pragmatism of the monarchy's relationship with the public, and the subsidy, the this and that. It just felt very out of touch with where we are in the world. But the more the world is progressing and moving at speed, the more I've just come to respect the traditional value of the royal family, the monarchy as an institution, as a faculty, and the Commonwealth that it represents. Like, it's a unique quality of the UK, of Britain, which is exactly what you've said, D. But like any institution, it needs to have the right leaders. I really don't like King Charles. Never liked King Charles. I just don't think he's got a backbone or anything to say. I'm much more inspired by William and Kate. I think they'll be much better representatives of the British people. So I'm excited for them to come in once Charles is gone. I think that should
He's
restore some faith.
77, oh Charlesy boy. He's getting
Yeah.
on, isn't he?
Well, he
That's
could
old.
last a long time. Like, he could last a long time, but it's just a shame. Like, clearly, our freedom of speech and so many rights of British people are being taken from us. Like, it's so clear at the political level. Why is the head of state? Why is he not at least behind back channels applying some sort of pressure? It just seems like, no, leave the politicians to it and let the British people rot. The people I reign over. It's just like, surely there calls for some kind of grounds for the monarchy to use its
Step
power
in.
a little bit. I appreciate they want to be impartial on political views, but political views, sure, but this is about the freedom of individuals and a sovereign state that we are, and dating back thousands of years of institutional evolution. Why are they not saying something like that? That f***s me off a little bit. It's like, at least have a presence, at least apply some pressure, because that institutionally is what you have. That's the only thing that slightly gripes me, but I do love that we have a monarchy. I think it's cool. It's very cool.